give the congressman more power and influence over the Congress to have a better policy, especially when it comes to the Middle East. And I would say maybe more balanced policy in the Middle East, especially on the Palestinian people issues. People who have been under occupation for the last 65 years. Actually, it's the only people on this earth in the 21st century who are still under occupation. So with the congressman help, maybe we can balance that and do something for the Palestinians who deserve self-determination, deserve their own state on their land, and maybe some pressure on the Israelis to stop building settlement, free thousands of prisoners, and we are willing to live side by side with the Israelis in a peaceful way and meet. And one more thing, I'm done, but one little thing. No, with this new position,
we want you to keep on going, actually.
with this new position, Congressman, I mean, within the Democratic Party, I wish that you would make a better policy with more transparency, and I want to see all the Democratic members of your party represented. I want to mention in particular two years ago, the last convention, 2 years ago, when they, last second at the end of the convention, they come up with pre-made resolution to pronounce Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, which is against the willing of all delegates. And they did the vote actually 3 times. I watched it, I reward so many times to see the majority. I didn't see no majority. You know, they say who is with, they say no, and then they have to redo 3 times to get the louder voice saying yes. So they adopt that resolution. And it wasn't right, and the no was bigger, louder. That's why they have to do it 3 times, and then somebody walk in and whisper. It was on TV. I watched it in CNN and Al Jazeera. So with you there, I hope, taking that important chair, that committee, maybe I would love to see more transparency doing this process. Thank you. Please welcome Congressman.
Thank you, توفيق, to you and your beautiful family for making me feel so welcome. You said that I'm always welcome here. I think everyone feels that way. Home is not just a matter of the dressings or the furniture or the artwork, all of which are beautiful, beautifully tastefully done here. It's a matter of the heart of the people who live there. And this is a household of welcoming and peace and a sanctuary from a lot of the difficult problems we have in the world. So I always feel at home here, and I very much am honored to be here as your guest and your friend. And I appreciate everyone taking so much time out of their very busy lives with their families and their studies and their businesses and their work. I'm always proud to be with Barbara Wallace, who I think is the finest mayor in America. I've known Barbara Wallace not so much as a politician, but as a giver. Girl Scouts, Special Olympics, gymnastics, community service. This is someone who a lot of us feel as if she's been a surrogate sister to us. I won't say mom because she's not old enough to be my mom, but she's certainly a sister. And I love her with my whole heart, and I'm just very proud of her and proud to be with her. You spoke eloquently about transparency and possibility, and I want to speak briefly about 3 issues that we're working on, and then stop and take questions from any of our friends about anything they want to ask. And the first is the efforts to establish a free, sovereign, and strong Palestinian state.
Yes.
This is a difficult process, as you know, for every one step forward, there's always 3 steps back. And it's very timely that we are here tonight because there's so much going on at this moment in that part of the world on this issue. As you know, Secretary Kerry has been in the region pretty much constantly for the last 4 days. And there's been disappointments and there's been opportunities. Certainly, there has been some angry rhetoric in the negotiations in the last 48 hours, which is unfortunate. It's very rare that you see news reports of a diplomatic negotiation where they say people broke out into shouting. But that is the report of the Tuesday meeting of the negotiators between the Palestinian Authority and the Israelis. And we have to hope that people can lower their voices and raise their sights and try to reach a better result. Obviously, there's also been renewed rhetoric about the settlements, which you touched on.
Kerry was an aggressive city. For the first
Kerry
time.
was quite aggressive, but frankly, the news has been troubling about that the prospect of more of that happening certainly makes the hill steeper to climb. On the encouraging side, I think we have to be somewhat hopeful about the fact that the last time we were together, there were no negotiations taking place at all. They had broken off. They had been suspended for a very, very long time. And as you know, last May, I guess it was, the United States was able to start those negotiations, at least put impetus for them again. A very optimistic 9-month timetable was put on that. Given the history of this conflict, 9 months is not optimistic, it's probably delusional. But a 9-month timetable was put on this, and look, we're 3 months into the 9 and there has really not been progress. Tell the truth, there really has not been progress. But the fact that there still is discussion has to give us cause for some hope. And there are 2 other developments in the last 48 hours I think do give us some of that pause for hope. Now, I'm well aware of the fact that the prisoner issue involves thousands of people. And I know it's a deeply felt issue in the Palestinian community. And I know that symbolic releases are really not sufficient. But we did have the release, I believe it was 25 individuals earlier this week, which I know is insufficient.
Out of 11,000.
I know that. But that's a sign for some hope that there's been some progress. And then secondly, the United States, I think, has made an important step. You should be aware, yesterday, Middle East time, Secretary Kerry announced a $75 million investment in schools and hospitals and roads that will benefit the Palestinian people. I think there should be more of that because this is a humanitarian crisis. So, you know, in the midst of disappointment and a difficult situation, there has been some reason for some optimism. I draw my optimism from the ability of people to listen to each other and learn from each other. And you have been an important ally and teacher. You have always been frank with your opinions and honest with your assessments, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I know that you speak from experience. I always welcome your voice and welcome hearing it. And I hope that what we are able to do as a country is to draw people together so those negotiations can have a promising and fruitful conclusion. Now, negotiations always take place in a broader context. As important as this struggle is for the Palestinian people, it always takes place in the context of other issues that influence it. And there are 2 that I wanted to touch on that are extremely important. The first is the issue of Syria. And I want to thank you, Tawfiq, for your timely and